G'day everyone, welcome to the Bothy. I'm Chris.
G'day, I'm Al.
So we played a new Bikeboy video last week. In going through their website, there's a whole lot of Bikeboy videos.
All right, yeah.
So I thought what we'd do today is we'd put a few of them together.
Yep.
We'd watch the message that they're trying to get across, have a bit of a chat between each one about what we thought.
Yep.
And give people an opportunity to watch our video and then allow us to donate again the 20% of it because it's to do with that case.
Yeah.
So another opportunity to make some money for the GoFundMe. So without further ado, mate,
Yep.
let's kick the first video off.
Let's go.
Righto.
How cool was Baby Jesus? Everyone loved that kid. But some people don't love some kids. Listen to this.
It was the young cyclist's fault. He hit our car. You know, we're grateful that the police decided not to charge him.
What kind of a mother runs over a kid and then blames the kid? Even though the husband secretly admitted that she had caused the crash.
And we've hit him.
And that's not Catherine Andrews' only lie.
You know, the kids were in the back, they were crying, we were all covered in glass.
That's another lie. The windscreen was cracked, but it wasn't smashed, and there was no glass inside the vehicle. Oh, and her name may not actually be Catherine Andrews. Her driver's license says Catherine Kessick, like her dad, Michael Kessick. Google him. This Christmas, please be kind.
Wow. I didn't know any of that.
We're so glad the police haven't charged the 15-year-old boy who we ran over. What is she thinking?
That's insane, isn't it? Really? That doesn't make any sense. Especially after him saying, and we hit him.
And we hit him. We've hit him.
You wouldn't get that wrong. He's a politician. He would say exactly what, obviously he wasn't thinking clearly. He would have said, the boy hit us.
Yeah. I did Google her father and he did do jail.
Yeah?
Yeah.
For what?
I think he got time for...
Wow.
I'd probably have to cut that out.
Wow. That's crazy.
I think he got 3 years. But he'd be out now. So that's the first video, mate.
Yep.
Should we kick on to the second one?
Sure.
Can it be measured in terms of privilege or double standards? Just imagine a person that is so inexplicably wealthy in terms of privilege that when investigated over a car crash that grievously injured a child, this person doesn't have to give over phone records or go under investigation, even when ordered to by judges and authorities.
There's another one coming up with Moira Deeming. What I love about Moira Deeming is that she actually fights for people. Yeah,
That's good.
it is good. All of the troubles that she's had came about from her going to a rally not too dissimilar to what we're going to on Sunday.
Right, yeah. Now I know who she is.
Yeah. And she has met with the family, as we'll see in another video, and has stuck up for them in Parliament.
Yep.
And has used her Parliament privilege to be able to say whatever
Yep.
she feels is right in there. Don't
Actually-
see too many others standing up.
Actually standing up for Australians.
Yeah.
That's unusual. What, is she Liberal, Labour?
She's Liberal state, so
Is she
could
the one
run
that had
against...
to apologise because she went for a women's
No.
march?
Yes.
That was ridiculous.
And she's the one who has sued Pseudo for defamation. If she was to run against Jacinda Allen, there you go.
Yeah.
At least she cares for the people.
Yeah.
Should we kick on?
Yep.
Let's play the Puck Quiz. And today's question is, what do Daniel Andrews and these famous songs have in common?
Hey Jude.
And she's buying the stairway to heaven.
Bye bye, Miss American, bye.
These famous songs are at least 6.5 minutes long. The exact amount of time Daniel Andrews waited before calling 000, while Ryan Meuleman lay on a hot road, bleeding, screaming in pain, struggling to breathe, and near death, after being hit by the SUV driven by either Andrews or his wife, Catherine. Imagine the agony Ryan endured during those 6.5 minutes, while Daniel Andrews delayed calling 000, as Ryan lay fighting for his life.
And we've hit him.
Is he complaining of pain anywhere?
He's in a lot of pain.
Where is he complaining of pain?
I'm not sure, but he's in a lot of pain.
Don't let Daniel and Catherine Andrews get away from this.
It just shows, it is a long time,
6.5 minutes.
Yeah.
And he said clearly there, the kid's in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
How could you wait 6.5 minutes?
I wonder if they did actually get his phone and call his sister, because that's in another video that's what they've stated, because they reckon that's what Ryan wanted. Ryan's version of events is no, Kath screaming at him, call an ambulance. Now, someone who says they know what happened has told me, and this is hearsay, and it's only alleged, he made 2 other phone calls before he rang 000.
Don't tell me. The police commissioner.
That'll be one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it might have been some legal advice from the other.
A lawyer.
Now, that's alleged. I have no idea whether that's true or not, but I've heard it more than once. Should we kick on?
Sure.
Good video. That
was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just represents every little family in Victoria that's been unfairly treated. I think it's going to be really healthy for him that we all jump in behind him and help him get some kind of justice. That's what we would want if it was our son. I was really impressed by Peter. I think, the whole family's been victimised in different ways. And that poor father, it's just horrendous. It is really quite awful and evil, the whole entire thing that's happened to this family, and we've got to start teaching people in this state who are corrupt that they're not going to get away with it. I don't want to live in a state country where that is the status quo. So obviously Ryan will be having his ups and downs, and they're pretty catastrophic, I can tell you from experience. But for him to get to all the way here after just being completely defeated for so long, and the only way to get bullies and people who behave badly like that to stop is actually to hold them to account and to make sure that they get a punishment, because otherwise they just get worse. If we can start pushing back this tide of corruption, I think we'll just gather strength. Oh, right. I'm so sorry that they made you feel like nobody believed you and that you had nobody and that nobody cared, because that was a lie. There are good people everywhere who don't like what's going on. I think this is a case that's going to be an absolute turning point for this state. Let's all get in there behind him and get this family some justice.
As we said before, at least Moira's doing something.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
At least she's supporting the family.
Yep, I agree, yeah. Do you reckon that's why they try to fit her up in that?
Nah, I think this has been done after that.
Is it done after?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't know. But, yeah, like we said, at least she's doing something. Don't see too many other politicians jumping on the cause.
No, well, very few.
Yeah.
A handful.
And she says exactly what we think, mate. As a father, if it's one of your kids,
it'd be devastating. Yeah.
Absolutely devastating. Should we kick on?
Yep.
This is a Bikeboy scandal special report.
We ask, who was really driving?
Fact. There is no evidence that Catherine Andrews was driving the SUV that struck and almost killed 15-year-old Ryan Meuleman.
Other than a statement Catherine Andrews provided to police 2 weeks after the crash, and a second statement Daniel Andrews gave to police 4 weeks after the crash. Sections of these statements are nearly identical and appear to be prepared with the assistance of lawyers.
Why wasn't there an independent investigation into who was driving? Police never inspected the vehicle before letting Daniel Andrews drive it away, unroadworthy with a smashed windscreen. Daniel Andrews is tall. Catherine Andrews is short. A simple check of mirrors and seat positions would have shown who was driving, but this wasn't done. Or if it did happen, police aren't saying what they saw.
Daniel Andrews walked his children to his rented beach house moments after the crash, meaning police couldn't ask them what they saw. It's common for police to ask children involved in a crash, who was driving. It's also standard practice for police to breathalyze the driver and adults involved in the crash.
So, we are all meant to simply trust the word of Catherine and Daniel Andrews. But can we trust those statements? Police were required to take statements from Catherine and Daniel Andrews on the day of the crash. This never happened.
The 2 statements prepared with the lawyer's help were only handed to police weeks after it became clear that Ryan would not die. Both statements described the crash in a way that couldn't have possibly happened, and Daniel Andrews' statement falsely claims that he was directing traffic on Melbourne Road when this never happened. Put simply, the statements we are told to trust contain a number of lies.
So who was really driving? The fact is that either Catherine or Daniel Andrews could have been driving when 15-year-old Ryan was almost killed.
It's just ridiculous, isn't it?
It is. It is. The police just didn't do their job, mate.
No.
They were so It feels like they were so hell-bent on covering it up that they didn't investigate properly.
They obviously didn't realise there'd be such a backlash.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if they did, maybe they actually would have done something
Yeah.
at the
Exactly
time. Yeah.
We'll keep on.
Yep.
Why did Dan Andrews wait 5 minutes and 24 seconds after his SUV hit Ryan before he called 000? A witness saw Dan Andrews talking on the phone soon after the crash, but minutes before he actually called 000. If you were the driver in a crash that injured a child, who would you call first? Would you call 000 or would you call someone else first? And who would that be? Is this why Catherine and Dan Andrews don't want to release their phone records?
That's exactly what we said before, mate.
Yeah.
Who did he ring?
I know. Who did he ring?
He rang someone.
Somebody saw him on the phone.
Yeah.
Right after the accident, but it wasn't 000.
And he won't. All he has to do is hand over the phone records or have the phone records supplied by the carrier, and all of that goes away.
Well,
but 11 years later,
unless he's guilty.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never understand why Catherine and Daniel Andrews started saying it was my fault. They were the ones that cut the corner. They hit me. On the day I got out of hospital, the two coppers came to my mum's house. I was recovering, mate. I just gotten out of hospital. I couldn't even talk because I had those tubes down my throat. But they sat there and said, "We got to talk to you." They sat there and told me that I was the one that caused the crash. And that was the story. I couldn't say anything, mate. I was so sick. My mum Sonia, she was there, and so was my sister Sam, and they heard everything. The cops never showed me the photos of the smashed vehicle. All they did was pull out this photocopy of one of the photos and they sort of waved it around. My dad, yeah, well, he never saw the photos. If he'd seen the photos, he would have said straight away, "There's no way my son hit the car. The car hit my son." They said to me that it was my fault and I could have been charged, right? But they weren't going to charge me because of my injuries. I mean, can you believe that? The day I got out of hospital, that was the last time those two coppers, or any coppers, have ever spoken to me. No one from Victoria Police has ever taken a statement from me. Never. Not once. They don't want to know me, mate. And I can't tell you how much that hurt.
That's
staggering, isn't it?
Sad. Yeah.
Never had a statement taken.
Nah. How can they? So basically, they're taking their word for it against this kid.
Pretty much what they're saying is, you're lucky you're not being charged. Yeah. Shut up.
Yep. So basically a threat.
Yeah. That's what it felt like. Well, sounded like it felt.
It's not good.
In early 2013, a teenage boy named Ryan was riding down a bike path in Blairgowrie on Victoria's Mornington Peninsula. As he was crossing Ridley Street, he was struck by a vehicle and was so seriously injured he had to be airlifted to the Royal Children's Hospital and was lucky to survive. A 36-page assessment conducted by former Assistant Commissioner for Traffic and Operations, Dr. Raymond Shuey, asserted that the teen was struck by a vehicle travelling at speed and on the wrong side of the road. Dr. Shuey also wrote, "The statements from both Daniel and Catherine Andrews that their vehicle stopped at Melbourne Road are not consistent with impact consequences, nor the report by witness Brad Morgan of the squeal of tyres prior to impact." Dr. Shuey stated that the investigators failed to account for the available evidence and labelled their conclusions as baseless and unsupported. It's also been reported that there was a delay of several minutes before Mr. Andrews called 000. I have met with a constituent who has played the recording of the 000 call that Mr. Andrews made after the accident, where he stated that he hit Ryan, which contradicts subsequent public statements. I believe that it's in the public interest for this call to be heard and also believe that the investigation should be reopened.
So someone that actually knows what they're talking about said it isn't consistent with what they've said.
Yeah.
That alone should be enough to make the...
It should have reopened an investigation.
And then they heard the screeching the wheels.
Yeah.
If you're going slow...
Mate, if you're going 20 kilometres an hour down a road because you're nervous of the beach cows that might jump out and attack your car, you're not screeching your tyres to stop.
You're stopping right away.
You know what he'd say? The bike's tyres screech. Because it must have been going like 80 or 90 kilometres an hour. To do the damage done to him and the car's barely moving, that bike must have been flying.
Is there any pictures of the bike?
I don't know.
Because if he hit them, it would just be the front tyre that was stuffed.
Yeah, good point.
Like, nothing else, really.
No, don't know. Good point. Where are the bike photos? Push on.
This video has been released by Ryan Meuleman and his family.
On the day of the crash, it was a shock, above all. no parent expects any of this sort of thing to happen. It really hits home just how fragile life can be. The public support since the revelations about more of the circumstances of the crash and where the impact was on the car, it's opened up a lot of people's eyes and realised that there was a cover-up that decade ago. Ryan was a really sporty kid, a very active kid, and the accident knocked the confidence out of him to a point where he didn't really think that he could do the activities that he could do previously. And I think he went into his shell, and ultimately that turned him down the darker path of drug addiction. It's been over a decade since the accident. Ryan hasn't recovered. He's still trauma affected. He should have been a young teenager growing into a young adult, forging a life with a job, career, trade, and all of that has been swept aside from him. To have nearly lost your son in an accident and then to have the other party publicly blame that victim in order to try and clean sheet their own persona. I think he missed an opportunity to do the right thing, to conduct himself with integrity at a scene of crisis. He could have been the hero of the situation and said, "Oh, look, got involved in a terrible accident, but I rendered assistance," and everybody, if he'd done that and said that to the public of Victoria, people would have gone, "What a stand-up guy he was." But he didn't do that. He cowered from the scene. He ran from the scene. I believe he left his wife, Kath, who gave her maiden name to cover up also. He left her at the scene to attend, and he fled the scene and also took the car away from the crash scene, which my understanding is that's illegal as well. It was really hard to think that here's the people's elected premier, put into the most powerful position in the state, and yet he can't conduct himself with honesty and integrity. We're fighting for him, and we're trying our best to bring the truth out of the circumstances to enable Ryan to have some closure on that incident and enable him to get the rest of his life back and to try and put this decade worth of trauma behind him. Take the politics out of it. In any kind of incident, you just want those two parties to be able to put their hand up and say, "Look, this was the circumstances of it." It's not about blame appropriation. It's just about both parties being responsible, both of them being truthful and honest. I have heard the term political waste used in this case towards my son, and that's incredible that they would put a young man's life, a boy's life, and just dispose of that and put it under the term of political waste in order to advance your own political career or protect your own political career. I'm so humbled by the amount of support. I thought we were just that dad and son from down in Blairgowrie who got battered down by the system, and we were just going to have to wear that for the rest of our lives. If I look deep, real deep, I can still see that there's a good kid in there, but the damage that's been done to him over the over the course of the last decade. I'm concerned. I question at times whether there's really a road back from that amount of damage. I think it's probably traumatized him and it'll affect him for the rest of his life. But here we are now with a lot of voices gathering around us, giving us vindication, and so that strengthens us, and hopefully it'll be enough to get it to a court of justice so that justice can prevail and we can put closure on it. The truth comes out and Ryan can get on with his life.
Throughout his time as Premier, Daniel Andrews and his wife Catherine were never held accountable for the crash. Surely, it's time. Follow the story and share on your socials.
You can just see the devastation. It's not as simple as he got knocked off his bike.
No, because it doesn't. It looks like he's struggling to come back from the accident. Full stop.
It's terrible, mate. And this is the thing, right? The Andrews move on. Ryan can't move on.
No,
he hasn't been able to.
No,
he's got health issues. Obviously, then there's become some dependency issues.
Yep.
Mentally, I'm sure there's some damage as well. There's got to be.
I hope they have some sleepless nights. You know what I mean? Not the Meulemans.
No, the Andrews.
The Andrews, because like that's just shit, isn't it?
It is. It just shows no care.
No.
Self-centered, selfish, narcissistic.
Yep. Even if everything they say is true, which I don't believe, did they ever go into the hospital and visit him?
Don't know. I wouldn't have thought so.
That's just shit as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just
legal advice.
It leaves me cold, mate.
Legal advice would have been don't. Yeah.
You think?
Absolutely. Don't go near it. One more, mate.
All right.
The Bikeboy scandal is a matter of public interest. Former Chief Commissioner Cal Glare is backing a move to file criminal charges against Daniel Andrews and his wife, Catherine Kessick. Those charges will be presented to Victoria's new Chief Commissioner, Mike Bush, and if he won't act, the family will pursue private prosecutions. No one is above the law. Donate now. Be part of this historic fight. Scan the QR code or tap the link.
So that's similar to the very first video we watched. But at the end of the day, you want as many people to get around them and support them in any way they can. It doesn't have to be financially. It can be lots of different ways to support. You can support by sharing this video. We can support by donating 20% of the money we're paid by YouTube for this video, as we've promised to pledge to do with a couple of the others. There's lots of different ways to help, though. Just sharing the message.
Yeah.
Have a groundswell of support for Ryan and his family.
Yep. There's just too many things that don't add up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, if I thought he was innocent, we wouldn't be making this video. It just seems like they've got away with shit because of who they are. Now with my Australian hat on, I just don't feel like just letting them away with it.
No.
You know, I think Ryan, his father, his family, they need justice.
They do.
Yeah.
Yep.
And up to now, they've not had any.
Nothing.
Let's just hope and pray they get some sort of justice from this.
Exactly right.
Yep.
All right. You've been letting us know in the comments on these videos what you think. Hopefully you enjoyed those videos. There's plenty of others if you want to get on their YouTube channel. I've just played a collection of them. There's probably another 10 or 15 there. So let us know what you think. Thanks, everyone.
See you guys.